welcome back to Finances and Fiance. My name is Christine and this is Steven, and we are both pharmacists.
So today we kind of want to talk about what our rich life looks like. So Christine's gonna share hers first, and I'll share mine second, and hopefully they align.
Yeah, so my rich life is basically where I can work at my own leisure. I think I still want to work at least per diem, maybe once or twice a week. And based on that, the other days I can, if I want to grab lunch with a friend, I can go at any time so I can do things at my own pace, maybe pick up a hobby or two. And if I want to take my parents out on a vacation, I can do that. So basically, where it's a life where I have many options, where I'm not tied to a W 2 job and can do whatever I want, whenever I please. Doesn't mean that I can spend frivolously, but just something that is within reasons.
Okay, I guess like what specifically would that be? Like, are you okay working full time, part time, completely retired? Like, what does that look like for you?
I think I still want to have some kind of like money coming in. I want to keep up my pharmacy license. So that is something that I'm really passionate in. I just want to work a little bit, maybe at least keep up with my pharmacy knowledge. So I would say maybe a couple of times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Right now, I'm working 10 hours a shift, so that could be either 2 days, and that's 20 hours, and still like part time.
Yeah, so for context, pharmacists typically work 5/8, right? Like I work 5/8. Christine works 4/10s, which is a little bit nicer because you get one extra day off a week. And then some pharmacists work 3/12s, which is like kind of like nursing schedule. So you get 4 days off, but you're grinding for those 3 days you are working. So, basically what I'm hearing from Christine is she doesn't mind working, but just wants the optionality to, okay, one day wake up, I can spend some time with some friends, spend some time with some family, and not too stressed, but would still like to work to still keep up with pharmacy. Have some spending money, if you will. So that's kind of her vision. So let me share what my vision was, and how it's kind of changed and morphed. So for me, because I'm in pharmacy management, it's harder to be part time, essentially, right? I'm basically full time, 5/8 at least, Monday through Friday. And it's not common to have like a part time, like pharmacy director or part time pharmacy manager, right? So, like, if I didn't want to work full time, I would have to step out of pharmacy management and become a normal pharmacist. At that point, I could, choose to be full time or choose to be part time.
Yeah, is that something
Um,
you're willing to do? Take a pay cut?
um, I thought about it. Like, it just really depends on what type of job it is. If I can get something like that's like hybrid remote, where maybe I'm on site maybe 2 3 days a week, and I'm off site 2 to 3 days a week, and typically those are options, but it's very rare from hospitals. But once I have like kids, or once we have kids, it might be something that I might aim towards, depending on the situation. But it would be like for context, almost like a $67,000 pay cut from
Yeah,
my
that's a
current
lot.
position, right? Which is like your average pharmacist is making about like maybe 150 to 160. So it's a pretty big drop down. But people are telling me even now, like, well, you're worth 6 million, Steven. Like, why are you even like working at all? And I have multiple videos like talking about that. But for me, my rich life would basically be to, basically wake up and do what I want when I want, right? So it's a little bit more spontaneous. Which, like, for example, if I wake up and I just go online and I see like a cheap flight to Japan, to be able to just go to Japan, right? Or to be able to see cheap flights to go to Thailand, just go to Thailand, right? Both our parents are retired, so like if like we could just wake up and spontaneously go on a trip with our parents,
That would be
right?
so nice. Yeah,
Yeah, just like that, having the option. Because right now, like I wake up Monday through Friday, and we all know I'm going to show up to work, right?
we're tied to our jobs,
Yeah,
basically.
we're tied to our jobs. Great income, help me build up my real estate, my net worth, my investments. All working full time. it's feeding me today, right? It's giving. We travel twice a year. Like, don't get me wrong, we still travel at least twice a year. Um, but just having that optionality where, like, some days you just wake up and you don't feel like doing any work, and like, but now I have to force myself to go.
Or just having like a slower paced morning.
Yeah,
Usually the mornings are like go go go, or like eating breakfast while driving. But just having the option of just having like a slow paced morning, slowly get up from bed, do a yoga class in the morning, eat breakfast, just enjoy your time more. That would be really nice to have.
yeah. It's just like you said, work becomes like you don't have to, right? Like, I don't think I'm the type, at least, to, like, if I didn't work as a pharmacist, I'd be doing other things, right? Like, I'd still be creating content, or like coaching, or like
Yeah.
trying to, like, maybe become a real estate agent or broker. Like, I'm not the type to just sit there and do nothing with my time. It's just that I could choose what to work on, right? Like, I could choose to coach somebody. I can choose to create content. I can choose to, like, just take it easy and do that. So to me, that's the most ideal. But once you have kids and all that, it kind of throws a little wrinkle in that plan, right? Where
Yeah.
so that's what's kind of tying me, to be honest, to my golden handcuff job,
So,
right?
yeah, it sounds like you still want to be mentally stimulated even if you don't have to work. Just choosing like whether what if you want to do like coaching or real estate full time, or just sprinkle in a little bit of work.
Yeah. So, like, I think we're both that way too. And overall, we don't live, like, even my rich life vision. I think yours as well, Christine, is like, we don't need to, like, when we travel, stay at like 5-star hotels, right? Like, or eat at Michelin star restaurants every single day. Like, we're okay just staying in, like, a decent hotel. It doesn't have to be the nicest, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be terrible either. But
Yeah, it would be nice to do something
yeah,
nice on like on occasion if we are celebrating our anniversary or something important, but it's not something like a daily occurrence for sure.
yeah, like, we could, because when we travel, like, we're actually never in a hotel much, anyways, right? Like, we're out and about, exploring the area, doing activities. So, like, why pay, like, so much money for a hotel that you're never in? But if we're staying in the hotel all day, then by all means, like, we'll splurge on a nicer hotel. But I think we're more, like, how to describe it, like, more value based, right? Like, if we know we're going to be there a lot, we'll spend the money. If not, we'll kind of get a cheaper alternative and then use that other money for something else that may bring us value, like eating, or like doing something new, right? So that's the trick that people don't realize, that we're just spending on things that bring value to us. So, like, that gives us the most rich life in our definition. So I guess ultimately, let's say once we have kids in a family, like, what's your ideal rich life at that point? Is it going to change?
Definitely, of course, being more nurturing and taking them to school, cooking for them, and just like supporting the family. That's how I saw my mom function in the family as a homemaker and stay-at-home mom. She would always be there, sending me to piano lessons every week, or we would go to Disneyland, and she'll help um, like make snacks for us. Just having that nurturing side, and just being able to give my kids options if they want to take classes on like a weekday at like 8 p.m. I would be able to take my kids, and just giving them all the opportunities that I can give them.
Yeah, so, like, what's interesting is, I think our moms were on, like, opposite spectrums, right? Like, mine, she worked full time, and was doing side hustles on the side. I guess that's where I got it from. Basically, I would have to, like, take myself home from school, right? I had to take the bus home. Maybe grandparents will pick me up. But for Christine, like, because the mom will stay at home, was able to, like, pick Christine up and her sister up.
Yeah, every single
Yeah.
day for my whole life, basically.
And what's interesting is, like, even like Christine's mom was just like, oh, like, don't be fully dependent on the guy, which is why she pushed you and your sister to, like, pursue careers, right, as pharmacists, and to say that, okay, because there is some sort of freedom of, like, having your own money to be able to spend it on things that you want to spend on. So
Yeah, especially if I want to spend frivolously, if I want to buy a purse, I can do so instead of asking Steven. I'm sure Steven will definitely want to buy me a purse, but I mean, it's nice just having that mindset of knowing, oh, I can afford this myself. But I would still, of course, ask Steven, oh, is this like a logical purchase?
yeah. So realistically, what I'm kind of envisioning is our rich life once we have like a kid would be probably me working full time still, and then Christine would probably drop down to part time. Working 2 10s, so she would have essentially 5 days off a week, and then from there, it's just a matter of like, do I want to step out of management and go into like something easier, right? Like being a normal pharmacist, obviously taking a pay cut with that, or and then do I want to be full time and part time? So like that's what I love about investing is it just gave us a lot of options, and now we're starting to see it, right? Like what the options are, and how it will affect our day to day life.
Yeah, luckily we're still young. I'm still in my 20s, late 20s. Steve is in his early 30s. So we have still have time to kind of see how our investments pan out and we have options down the road. So thank you for listening.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for listening. If you're interested in buying real estate, multifamily real estate with some guidance, check out the mentorship program link down below. Otherwise, let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to answer your questions. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.